Hey, this is BOBTV, Robert Brown. How you doing today? I know this is a long time coming. People are asking me when I'm going to say something about the H.A. Goodman, the Tim Black versus Cenk Uygur and Jordan Chariton. And I had to pray about it because I got too much to say. And it kind of pisses me off because after hearing this, this so-called defense or sucking up the Cenk Uygur from Jordan Chariton, I took it personal because he began to talk about people who did it out of anger, who started this out of anger to get clicks and things like that. Well, yes, just to let you know, I started this out of anger. I am a person who was ticked off about how the process was going and how it looked like it wasn't favoring Bernie Sanders. So I got on a video just like I do with any of my other shows that I previously had before then on YouTube. And I just vented out. Okay. And people felt like I felt. And, I decided to make myself a vessel of the people where hopefully my anger can help them channel their anger. So if you want to say I use people for their anger, Mr. Chariton, you're wrong. I use myself. People just identified with my anger. So first of all, you're wrong there. But let me get back to this because I want to get too far off on this thing. So Jordan Chariton taking the initiative to diss other progressive voices, assuming like you really freaking knowing them that they're doing this out of just to get clicks. Hello. Maybe you're doing this just to get clicks. You know, don't get me wrong, but you are a great journalist. I like your style. You like to get in the faces of people, but you don't like people to get in your face. And I'm just a nobody, and I only got like 1,000 plus subscribers, and I thank God for that. And I don't despise no small beginning because you started that way on somebody else's network. Which if you leave TYT, long as you can keep your credibility, you to do the same thing. I guarantee you, much as I don't like, what's his name, from Fox News, Bill O'Reilly, he's going to say, kiss my behind, Fox News. I don't need you anyway. I'm going to be myself now and start his own channel. And whether he get 1 view, 1,000 views, 1,000,000 views, he have his freedom. See, I have my freedom. I didn't get in this to get no clickbait. Really? The little freaking money they give you ain't worth nothing. And I never really asked for nobody to donate it me until my mom reminded me that if when I stop people from when people want to bless me, that I shouldn't stop them. Allow them to bless me so they can be blessed. That's the only reason why I started a freaking Patreon channel. And I'm leaving it to them. I'm not crying for support. I'm giving them the freedom to support. So I'm not doing this to get money. I have a job, and that's why it took me so long to come on here, because I work a regular labor working job for New York City. I'm a regular dude. And yes, I am an ID theft instructor. I am a community organizer. So, and I don't get paid for that. So no, you're wrong, Jordan. So when you say something like that, you know, people are doing this to tap into people's anger so they can make money and clickbait and things like that. Dude, really? You should know. You worked at Fox News, and that's how you may have started your career with TYT. Now, I was a fan of TYT up to a certain point. I saw how Cenk undermined Jill Stein, and I didn't think that was fair. Bernie Sanders was great enough to come on TYT. Hillary Clinton wouldn't even entertain him the time of day. But when it came to the election between Trump and Clinton, instead of him saying, screw both of you, you both are not right for that position, and took a bold stand like people who do not sell out do, you toed the line of the Democratic Party, Cenk Uygur, and you're trying to get other people to do the same. And you're trying to get other people to do the same with Bernie. No, people have a freedom to do whatever they need to do concerning who they're going to support. They don't need nobody manipulating their support. I am a fan of independence, real independence. Now I don't know where I'm going to go with this thing, but I would tell you like this: when I first saw Tim Black, that even harnessed me even more about being comfortable getting in front of the camera and going forth in political affairs. I've always been a political activist. I just never did it on camera. And it was always low key. But Tim Black inspired me. Watching his videos inspired me to do what I do. I mean, you can see a little similarity. Microphone, black background. That's just a coincidence. I didn't do that to copy Tim Black, but I like Tim Black's style. I did that because I stay in the studio apartment. Y'all need to see my trash in my little studio apartment where I do all my videos. I don't have a crew. I don't have nobody paying me. I don't own a network. I don't work for a network. I do this for the people. Not my boss. I spend my money for this microphone. I spend my money. Cheap microphone at that. $15. On Amazon. Headphones, $10 over there at B&H. I spend the money for this. The interface, $30. I spend that out of my own pocket. None of my subscribers put that in my money, in my pocket, and nobody from YouTube gave me enough money to do that. Out of the whole time I've been with YouTube, I probably made $50 with YouTube. So, dude, I do this because I feel it's the right thing to do. We need more voices channeling out against the system in order to prepare to break it. We don't need people siding with the system. You can't break the system siding with the system. That's why I'm kind of confused about Bernie Sanders. When it was proven that he was cheated, it was documented. People lost their jobs for it. How from the beginning, Debbie Wasserman Show should have been on the DNC, knowing that she ran Clinton campaign was a conflict of interest. That was the starting of the cheating and the holding the superdelegate hostage because I made this money for you and I got you into office. You got to help me get into office. Yeah, that's what it was. The reason that people didn't switch over to Bernie Sanders is because they feel they owe the Clintons and they don't want to get on the bad side of the Clintons. Instead of you exposing that Cenk Uygur and Jordan Chariton. And you got evidence. You talked about it a little bit, but then you shied away from it. Instead of exposing that corruption, you talk about it and you went back and talked about another subject instead of harping on it. Case in point, this DNC lawsuit. It is the right thing to do. We need this to happen to prove that democracy, real democracy, will not stand for corruption. Real democracy will stand on the side of the people and the people who went out there in good faith, hoping, not whether it was evident that it was going to be cheating, hoping that somehow, some way, this thing is going to go the right way. Hoping. See, a lot of times we give money into hope. Yes, you told me it's corrupt. It's always been corrupt. But that don't mean we don't hope that things change. And for you to defend these knuckleheads, John Laurinaitis, whatever his name, sound like the dude that used to run the WWE. And some of the people on TYT panel trying to undermine this effort instead of getting behind it and supporting it. See, I got Tim Black's back. That is my so-called people who I look at when it comes to me being bolder and stronger and progressive talk. I don't agree with everything Tim Black say, anybody else say, but most of it I do. And for your network to get on there and talk about Tim Black, when Tim Black has been a platform for people who don't even have a voice, that he has everybody on there. When did you have Ojamo Baraka on your show? Oh, you had Jill Steiner undermining her, trying to make her look like she's doing the wrong thing. You know you didn't want her to run because you wanted Hillary to run. You felt that she would have split the so-called split the vote, which there's no such thing. Now I'm all over the place, but I'm kind of pissed because when you did that to Tim Black and Niko House and H.A. Goodman, you did that to me. You did that to Debbie. You did that to Environmental Coffee House. You did that to Real Progressives. I mean, you did that to Claudia. I mean, you did that to a whole bunch of people who are doing this out of kindness of their heart. Because they have a voice. And they have a right to speak. And it seems like you're trying to silence us. Trying to make us look bad or stifle our growth. People like Jamal Thomas. I just got into Jamal Thomas and I like Jamal Thomas. Come on, Doc. You don't own Progressive Media. Progressive Media, you probably have a dominant presence in Progressive Media, but Progressive Media says, look, this is the direction we're going, and if you ain't going that direction, then either the bottom line is we don't take sides, we take over. We don't take sides, we take over. In this progressive base, we're not taking sides, we're taking over. And what Cenk Uygur did in this last election was he took sides instead of taking over when he had the power to take over. He had the power to call out corruption from the left to the right, from the front to the back, up and down. And he didn't. You just like Bernie. Much as I love Bernie, I get on him about things too. You're going to tell us all about this person over here, and then you're going to go support them and ask us to maybe support. Well, he didn't directly ask us to support. He just said why he's going to support. And we still didn't understand that, and that looked like a sellout move. And I made a couple of videos about Bernie being the sellout, but that's the past. I'm looking at what he's doing now. He's leading the charge while Hillary Clinton been missing in action, and now she want to show her butt up talking about I'm part of the resistance. You are what we resisting. You and Trump. The real progressives are resisting Trump and any corporate Democrat that's standing in our way. And if you're a real progressive, TYT, Jordan Chariton, and the rest of the crew, you'll be resisting Trump and resisting the corporate Democratic base. That's why I'm so ipsy. And I'm sorry, Cal, I'm kind of iffy about Justice Democrat. Because even though you say all these things in your platform, I want you to support these corporate Democrats. But when push comes to shove, when a Justice Democrat lose, if they lose to a corporate Democrat, are you going to tell us to support that corporate Democrat? That's the same thing Cenk Uygur did, and I ain't co-signing for that. Never, ever, ever am I going to vote for a corrupt politician. And people say, people fought and died for you to vote. Yes, they fought and died for me to vote, but they didn't even fought and died for me to vote for crap. They didn't fought and died for me to vote for corrupt politicians. They fought and died for me to vote for the best person who I feel should be in that office. And I'm a firm I'm a firm person that if I don't see anybody good enough, you're not getting my vote. Don't happen often, but if I have to, I'm not going to co-sign for your crap. And people say, well, if you don't vote at all, you co-sign. I'd rather don't vote at all and don't have a significant co-sign with that name next to somebody else's name. Because when they start doing stupid stuff, it'll be my fault. Look, there's no blood on my hand when it comes to Trump or Clinton, because I didn't vote for neither one of them. I voted for Jill Stein. Proudly voted for her because she was the best one for the job. But you didn't want to promote that, Cenk and the TYT boys and young ladies. You don't want to. So I support H.A. Goodman. I support Tim Black. I support Niko House. I support the lawyers for the DNC campaign lawsuits. I got your back. I'm going to be talking about you guys more often and what's going on, but I really feel like I shouldn't have to because we got enough people. I mean, I could just refer people to look at the video and talk about something else in news. There's so much in news. There's so much in life, so much in society that's going on. I'm not a newscaster. I'm not a journalist. I'm a commentator. I'm like the Black Paul Harvey. I'm like the 50 Cent version of Paul Harvey. And I could, and I bite my tongue. I try not to cuss. But I'd be so tempted to cuss cuss people out, you don't understand the kind of pain that goes through my body to keep my mouth shut. I literally bite my tongue. And in this situation, I bite my tongue on Cenk to sell out Uygur. And HA is right. How are you going to tell us that you're against the establishment and you're going to call out corporate politicians, but you're going to sit there and side with them all because of Trump? I don't care who's in office. I'm not siding with him, and I'm not siding with her. I'm siding with somebody that I think should be the one to be in those positions. There is no such thing as you only got two choices. I got all kind of choices. It's like telling somebody, I'm in some cases I'm pro-life. Some cases I'm pro-choice. I'm majority pro-life. Anytime a life can be sustained, I'm on that side first. But when it comes to a situation where a life will be lost to save a life, then I go with the life to be lost to save a life. So, and in this situation, for you to do what you did is the same thing as, anyway, let me get off that. Same thing as, anyway. So, I support my boy Tim Black. I support my boy H.A. Goodman. I support Niko. I support him. I support him. And this thing shouldn't be. If they need to ride this and squeeze every juice out of this particular example of fake progressivism, then do it. Now, they get offended. TYT get offended. They want to be known as a progressive news network. Yes, you're progressive up to a certain point. Then you flake out. And there's a lot of people like that. They're progressive to a certain point. Then they flake out. They're progressive longest things are going their way. And if it don't, they have a plan B. But real progressive soldiers or real soldiers in a revolutionary war, they burn the bridges when they go over the side. I heard in history that sometimes in order to make sure that nobody retreat from battle, when they go over the bridge, they bomb that bridge. They tear the bridge down. Why? Because nobody's retreating here. And in this day and age, in 2018 and 2020, there can be no retreat. There can be no compromising. Either you for us or you're against us. Either you're going to be by our side or you be in front of us as an enemy. Not saying physically speaking, but philosophically speaking. See, we're at this point now because we're at a point now where Democrats and Republicans are siding together to railroad the people. And for me to sit back and stand for that, I will not. My philosophy in this day and age, all the progressives need to take off their party hats and become a voting bloc, and we gotta put ourselves in a position where we're not going to take nobody's side. We're not going to take the side of a corporate Democratic ever, no matter what the situation is. We're definitely not going to take the side of Republicans. We're just going to take over. Now I'm BOBTV. I'm done with that. I support you, Tim Black. I support you, Niko House. I support you. It was a pleasure to meet you, Niko House, over here at the Garden with Ajamo Baraka when he came to speak with us. It was just a handful of us, but it was a pleasure to meet you. I was the brother say, hey, I got to go to work, but it was a pleasure to meet you because I got a job. It was a pleasure to meet you, Tim Black, in Philadelphia. HA, I'll meet you when we get to whenever I get to LA. But I support you guys. The moment Cenk stop talking about Hillary Clinton and her the Hillary defense fund. I mean Hillary ready for Hillary fund and working with the superdelegate. The moment he stopped talking about that, he lost me. I knew he was a sellout because he didn't harp on it. He didn't hit the hammer. No, he hit the hammer on Trump and all his so-called Russian ties, or he hit the hammer on Trump and this and the hammer on Trump on that, but he couldn't do that for Hillary Clinton. Why? Because he got to toe the Democratic line. Because I'm a Democrat and I got to toe the line. Time to look, like I said, this is a message for anybody who's going to be wishy-washy, including Bernie Sanders. And I love Bernie Sanders, and including supporters of Bernie Sanders. I love you. I'm a supporter of Bernie Sanders. But up to a certain point, I'm not going to support him where he's going to sheepdog me back in that party. That ain't happening. I'm letting the party know is if we don't see you when we come back, The only way we could ever even think about coming back is when we see a history of you doing right by the people from this day forward. We have to see a history before we even think about coming back. And even then, I'm not coming back. I'll support you in certain efforts, but I'm not joining you. Like I said, this is the day and time when true progressives got to take off their party hats. I don't care what party you in. Become a voting bloc and have the mentality that we're not taking sides, Doc. We're taking over. On BOBTV. Freedom of Fire Hardcore. Politics Edition. Got your back, Tim. Got your back, HA. Got your back, Niko. Peace.